Oh yeah, let's do that. Go ahead.
Because we got into a history
Yeah,
lesson
I'm
here,
sorry.
but it was quite interesting. I have to admit. But I left Oakland in 1966, December 1966, on a troop ship. There was 5 ships that left, and I happened to be on the USS Upshur. And no, Ninth Infantry was being activated. So, what month?
August.
Okay, August. Well, I was December. So we left Oakland. We arrived by air. I'll back up a minute. I was stationed in Kansas, Fort Riley, Kansas. The 9th Division had just been fully activated since World War II. They were reactivated. So I went through AIT there, and then so that was July that I arrived after basic, and then December I was shipping out for Vietnam. And we left Fort Riley, Kansas by rail to Wichita. From Wichita, we boarded the airplanes, airliners were waiting for us. And then we flew into Oakland in the evening. We got here about 5 p.m. in the evening. And then we disembarked. We were loaded onto buses. They took us over to the Army Navy base. And that's where we were assigned to our ship. We loaded. And then 12 hours later, we would sail under the Golden Gate for Vietnam, a trip that was supposed to last 7 days. But it turned out being a 17-day trip.
Puking.
And it was, yeah, a lot of sick
You're not going
soldiers, and it was a miserable trip. They would a compartment was about twice the size of this room with 200 guys in it. The bunks were stacked 5 high, and if you got the lower bunk, you were unfortunate to have that bunk because everybody was sick, and the splatter, splatter, splatter onto the floor, and the yes. Well, let me tell you, this is turning into a shitty Christmas. So, as we're moseying along, we passed the Hawaiian Islands. We could see them off into the distance, and then once we got beyond the Hawaiian Islands, everything turned to chaos. One fellow jumped over the fantail. We looked around for him for a little while, and he became fodder to the fish. We had to forget about him. Then we moved on, moved on. Then another fellow, he does a stupid thing by overdosing on Darvon. So we're approaching Formosa. So the doctors on board needed adrenaline to keep this kid alive, to shoot him in the heart. And Navy came out. It was in the evening. They dropped 4 parcels of adrenaline into the sea. The merchant mariners had to go fetch at least one package, and which they recovered. They were coming back to the boat. They hooked up their lifeboat. They were being pulled up. A wave hit the boat, threw it up in the air, and then it came down on its suspension. And in the process, trapped one of the merchant mariners between the lifeboat and the ship. So his chest is crushed. Well, so now we have 2 sick people on board, and we're still a day out from reaching Formosa. So we come in the evening, drop the 2 sick ones off, and then we start moving along, and then the boilers blew up. So I don't know anything about a ship, how many boilers there are, how many engines are running this thing, but we would do this, go forward, come back, forward and back. I don't know what our top speed was. Few knots. Well, anyway, finally they get the ship repaired and away we go. Well, we finally make it to the coast of Vung Tau. And guess what happened? The stevedores are on strike. The Vietnamese stevedores are on strike. So we have to sit in the harbor for 5 days in this hot heat, and everybody's topside, because I'll tell you can't breathe down below because it stunk so bad. And then finally we get the word. Here comes the landing craft to pick us up. So it's just like World War II. We're crawling over the side of the boats on rope ladders, and down we go. And so here we are, we land on the beach, the gate drops, and the band is playing. The Army band is playing. Star Strangled Banner, huh? Spangled. And then here's Westmoreland out in the water like MacArthur, greeting the troops, and it's all for footage, for show, press, exactly. Well, then we load onto the trucks, and we go on our merry way from Vung Tau to Bearcat, the 9th Division base camp, and so we were given rations and ammo, and they said lock and load. If we get hit on the way, you jump off, hit the dirt, and fire from whatever direction the fire's coming from. So that was my Merry Christmas.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you guys worn out, or is there anybody else wants to say a few?
It's the best meeting we've ever had.
You keep it short? Okay.
But we got one more.
You know,
Well,
Fred
yeah.
talks about the big ship and how hot it was and all that. And when I was in Vietnam, I was on a Mike 8 boat, which is the little version of the ramp and the reams falling and all that. And I was with some POWs. And in order to protect the POWs, they decided that the Mike 8 boat, which we slept on, should have a protected roof over the well deck. And
Our
in,
POWs or North Vietnamese?
no, our Viet Cong POWs, not,
okay.
yeah.
Chu Hoi's.
Yeah, oh, no, Hoi Chons,
Hoi
yeah.
Chons.
The Chu Hoi was the
Yeah, we
program,
know.
yeah. Anyhow, they decide that we should have a roof over the well deck of this boat. And they made the roof out of 1/4-inch steel
Wow.
and painted it OD green. So you could not survive within this hooch after about 6 o'clock in the morning. You know, I don't know what the solar heat factor was, but you could have dried fruit and meat in that thing in about 2 hours. And that was our hooch.
Made it a little top heavy,
Yeah.
didn't it?
Yeah. So, okay.
Well, let me just finish up with
Yeah.
that. Well, we were on the ship. This was the, I'll tell you, Army all the way. When we were on the ship, and we were in our bunks, 1 a.m. in the morning, fall out. Where are you gonna fall out to?
Fall into your bunk.
And, we're having a rifle inspection.
Oh.
This went on every night
Second Louis, you did.
until we reached Vietnam. I could not believe this. Fall out. Can you imagine that? That was our
I
introduction.
gotta say one thing real quick.